Hey, John Hickok here. Something I've been thinking about a whole lot lately is how do we combat this new threat of terrorism that we've been seeing all around the world? And of course, the first thing is you're going to need a wall like this in your house. That's a must. It's as important as a fire extinguisher. No, I'm just kidding. You don't need a wall like this. It's not even real, actually. It's fake. It's Hollywood. It's just a Hollywood wall to look cool. It doesn't even. I don't think it even stops bullets, probably. Maybe a BB gun or something like that. But anyways, terrorism, of course, is not a new threat. It's a threat that's probably been around as long as society has been around, as long as people have been raising livestock and organizing and saying like, hey, let's build four walls and put a roof on it and just sit inside and see how we feel about that. Maybe we'll put a bunch of them in a row and we'll have stores and we'll organize. Ever since that has been a thing that people have done, I think there's always been other people who wanted to take that away from them, whether it's jealousy or they're boredom, they're just rude people, whatever. I think that's always been just a law of nature. Whenever there's a good thing, there's always a bad thing that wants to tear it down. And who are we to say, I guess, what's good and bad, but that always seems to be a factor. So we can't just get rid of terrorism. That's impossible. It's like a virus. There's always going to be viruses out there, and they're always going to be evolving and changing constantly. You can't ever totally eliminate it, but you can keep it at bay. But to me, the important thing is that we have to stop always trying to use the same solution to terrorism, to fight terrorism, which entails limiting our freedom, right? The very thing that is trying to take away our freedom ends up taking away our freedom whether they win or not, it seems like a lot of times, because that's how at least the government in America and I think other governments around the globe tend to deal with terrorism is they increase security, which in turn decreases our level of freedom. And I don't necessarily think that this great increase in security is the way to fight terrorism. I think one of the best ways to fight terrorism is special forces and special units to go in and investigate and to try to take them out that way and really hit them where they live and stuff like that. I think that's the best way to take out terrorists. It's because it's like dealing with any kind of infestation. If you have a infestation of ants, you can try to keep them from coming in your house, but they're going to find a way in eventually. You got to figure out where the nest is, and you just got to decimate that nest because then it's going to take time for another one to pop up. So that I think is the best way to combat terrorism, probably. But still, if we're going to increase security, we've got to increase our freedom at the same time. There's too many oppressive laws for people to put up with even more spying and just impeding on just our day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Like we don't want people spying on our text messages and listening to our phone calls and treating us all like potential criminals or terrorists. Like America is better than that. At least if you're going to read my text messages, let me buy a machine gun over the counter. I mean, how can I let the government, the same government that tells me that I can't buy beer on Sunday, but I somehow need to trust them with my phone conversations? I don't think so. So if we're going to fight terrorism, we got to hit them where they live, and we've got to make sure that our level of freedom doesn't drop below our level of security. We've got to. That's the whole point of America is to be free. So we just can't keep going down that path because it's just they're gonna eat away and just chip away even more of our freedom until we've got none left, and we'll be real safe, but we won't have any freedom. We won't be able to do what we want and enjoy all the great freedoms that we enjoy in this country. It's just there's a point where we just kind of have to decide what's more important, freedom or safety. I think we can have some of both, but we definitely can't. We can't let our government take more of our freedom in the interest of safety. I don't want to see that anymore. So my idea of how to combat terrorism, one is you hit them where they live, you get to the source of where they are, and if you're going to increase security to try to prevent them from attacking us here at home, then you got to do us solid, and you got to increase our freedom. You know, more security should equal more freedom to combat the loss of freedom that security kind of entails. So, anyways, that's kind of how I feel about it, and I'll see you on the next one.